Hey, Ghoul Scouts. It's Gabe here of Ghouls Next Door, and I have another book recommendation for you. Since the ghouls are covering this week When Evil Lurks, which is an Argentinian horror film where possession is an epidemic that sweeps the countryside and plagues these regular folks. It is a really tragic, awful, gory, emotional, sad, angering film that you maybe really enjoyed. And if you did, then you might also enjoy a book that I recently finished called Seed by Ania Ahlborn. This book is about a man who, in his youth, had experienced some spooky things, possessive, exorcism-y vibes, and had escaped that and is now an adult. And after an accident, he is starting to see similar behaviors while also remembering his own childhood in his daughter. And so she is experiencing something similar. She's 6 years old. It is peak creepy. Anya is an amazing storyteller. I've read many of her pieces, and there's a lot of brilliant storytelling that happens in here. She clearly is a fan of Stephen King, and there's some hints at Pet Sematary throughout. She references King a few times, but it also has a little tinkling of The Exorcist. One character is even named Reagan, right? But it is a brilliantly told story. It is super creepy and dwelling, and it also really plays with emotions of parents and what you would do and what you would ignore with your child, and also the lengths that you would go to protect that child and try to ignore maybe those red flags that are occurring. It's like I said, brilliantly told, super spooky. I do highly recommend it as an audiobook because it is featuring this child, and so when things are happening where, you know, creepy things are being said by a child and you hear that narrator say it in a childlike voice, I think it absolutely amplifies the horror and the creepiness of it, because you're like, oh right, this is a 6-year-old. So highly recommend it as an audiobook if that's your jam. Otherwise, I do just recommend the book overall, and I do recommend the film as well. It is super emotional, and I do recommend checking out any trigger warnings because it is pretty graphic. But I think it was rather unique and a different story than I've ever seen before. So highly recommend. Check out Seed by Ania Ahlborn and When Evil Lurks.